I've lived quite an incredible life and I feel really blessed for having had it, where I was an elite athlete for years and I got to travel the world and experience so much, and I guess experience success in a way that society loves it. When I finished doing sport, I really started questioning what else is out there in the world, because that sporting career had been really protected and just, I wasn't really aware of what was going on in the world. So once I started asking those questions, I was on a massive search. What is the purpose of life? All that kind of stuff, my personal journey. When I was 22, I started a small project which was just within the company that I was working within, where I started reusing paper that we were going to throw away. We were trying our best to collect up one-sided paper, reuse it before it left the building. We'd collected up boxes and boxes of paper, and then my boss said, throw it away. And I was just like, no, we're not going to throw it away. So I started turning it into stationery, and having grown up as a daughter of a printer, that was pretty easy to me. We implement systems which sounds fancy, but usually it's cardboard box at every workstation. We educate the staff within a company on what's appropriate to put in there and what's not. They collect up one-sided paper in their box on a regular basis, depending on the company and what they want. We go and pick it up. We take it to our factory. At our factory it gets sorted, which is where we make sure that all the paper's up the right way, staples are removed, and that it's all neat and tidy. From there it gets manufactured into a number of products, and then we package it and take it back to the company. We make small notebooks, big notebooks, small notepads, big notepads, cube refills, envelopes, mileage diaries so they can record their car miles, basically anything and everything that a company might want. So with our very first client, they started out being pretty sceptical about what was going on, and their staff were a little bit hard to get engaged and enthusiastic about participating. But about 2 months into the process, when we started bringing back products and samples of what was actually happening to their paper, they started to get a bit more enthused and excited. At the end of that year, we also handed out certificates to each company saying how much paper they'd recycled, how many trees that was the equivalent to, and a whole bunch of other really fun measures. And then got a phone call about a week later saying, thanks so much for that. It's just that's really helped get our staff more engaged. We now have 6 medium to large companies. We've also got one that's starting up next month who has over 120 employees. And in the last year, we have reused over 65 to 70,000 pieces of paper. Like, my personal philosophy is that for us to really make a difference long term in the world, within the present paradigm and the present system, it needs to be profitable. Profit for us is probably quite different to what it is for other corporates. We do put a lot of our profit back into the people within our company and into our clients as well, and then also back into the community. So maybe our profit margins aren't quite the same as everyone else's, but that's okay. And the purpose, is still to make a profit so that we can continue to exist as long as this system exists, I guess. When we first started out, we had a business model that's quite the opposite of what we've got now. We had a recycling scheme that was free and we were selling products. We flipped that over because we didn't want to continue contributing to consumption and pushing consumption of products in order to survive as a business. So we started charging for a recycling scheme and giving away free products. That moment was pretty huge because it really made us feel like we'd pushed the boundaries in terms of what regenerative business is about. And from there we started then, of course, selling a recycling scheme. So a big moment for us was when we brought on our first paid recycler. I guess that was so big because it was showing that a company values this enough that they're willing to pay for it. Our shareholding structure is different. We don't just have shareholders that receive money in the usual way. We've constructed it more like a cooperation. so that people who are working within the business actually get to benefit just as much. We work with local companies and suppliers, so we keep all of our manufacturing local to the client. So for example, if we have a client in Melbourne, we'll work with local printers and manufacturers to produce locally to that client, keeping profit within the local community and trying to keep energy transport to a minimum. We work whatever hours we want, whenever we want. We have so much fun and we put a lot of energy into getting out together and working as a team. We do things like we go and eat together, we go on surfing trips together. And it's the purpose of that is to really empower and enable each person that's part of this to be the best, most fabulous and happy person that they can be. I signed up for a course in small business management, which kind of went because I wasn't really ready for that. I just did that before I really knew what I was doing. But it did help, especially with the basics, like how to register a company and stuff like that. I've got heaps of, I guess you could call them mentors. They're not committed mentors, they don't label themselves mentors, but they are people that love to help me and learn and go in the right direction. And I guess it has been part of that whole journey because I've learned that when you're on the right track and you want something, the right things will manifest. And I have had this really incredible flow of people showing up who have been able to help me in so many ways. At the moment, Love Notes is creating new life through taking waste and turning it into something that it can be used again. However, we are looking at taking regeneration to the more genuine level within the next year, looking at how we can provide a full recycling service to businesses, doing something along the lines of paper mulching and restoration of soil. So we will actually be regenerating the planet and putting things back into the earth, creating new life, new trees, all that kind of thing.